welcome back, all 10,000 of you. If you didn't know, I hit 10,000 subscribers, which is baffling. You know, it's weird because, like, obviously when I started posting YouTube videos, like, I hoped it would do well and blow up in some way, but it's weird to actually see it happen. So I wanted to do something fun to celebrate because this is crazy, obviously. So I put on my YouTube community page and on my Patreon and on my Instagram, follow, join all three of those for more info. I put a post that I got 10,000 subscribers and I wanted to celebrate by answering some questions you guys have. So I'm gonna be answering those and I'm gonna be doing a slime tutorial for you guys. This was just the most fun thing I could think to do and least preparation required on my end. It's also a little full circle because I have been a slimer for a long time. Back in like 7th or 8th grade or maybe like early high school, I made actually a public slime account on Instagram, but I never showed my face. I was very secretive about it. I felt really kind of insecure, almost to the point of guilt about my love for slime. I don't know why I felt that way. I don't know if I thought like it was somehow inappropriate. Something about the way people play with slime is very like hand model-esque, and I thought it felt sort of showing off or something. So I was very secretive about this slime account, and then one time I was showing a friend, I was trying to show them like a funny Instagram post I had saved, but I was accidentally on my slime Instagram, and so I opened the phone to the slime Instagram and he went, interesting. And I went home and deleted the account. But look at me now, from humble beginnings, 10,000 followers on my equally strange account, and I'm reclaiming slime. I'm making a slime for you guys today. I'm actually gonna make a couple. Let me show you what I have. So first of all, as proof of the fact that I love slime, my slime collection is a little crazy. I got this one in Korea, Hanugurum, Cloudy Sky? No! Sky Clouds. Sky Clouds is this one. These I've gotten more recently. Like, it's really, it's a secret love of mine. It is a little, I won't say I'm not at all ashamed of it now, but I do think it's pretty harmless. So then I got some supplies at Target today. I got Model Magic Clay, which makes sort of a thicker, more buttery type slime texture. I got 2 things of white glue to make like some kind of buttery slime with that. And then I got a clear glue and I got a glitter glue, which I have made slime with this before in high school, and I really liked how it turned out. And then it's somewhere, I don't know where I put it, somewhere around here I have a activator spray for these slimes that I got, but I can't find it, so whatever. And then what I used back in my day was just regular blue Tide detergent, works as a slime activator. I also have a cup of water. Thrifted this cup, love it, live it. Some shaving cream. This is shaving gel, so I'll have to like make it shaving cream first and then put it in. But this does something to it. It makes it like fluffier, I feel. Gel food coloring so we can play with the color. Lotion to make it stretchier, smoother, softer. The thing about slime is it's a lot like making potions in the sink when you were like 9. You just put in like shampoo, shaving cream, water, hand soap, hand sanitizer, a spray of perfume. It's like, I don't know what it all does, but I know that something's occurring. It's like a science experiment. And then I have this to mix. And yeah, we're gonna see. I don't know if I'll make all of them or just a couple. We'll see how long it takes to get through some of these questions. But yeah, I'm just gonna be making slime and answering your questions, so let's get into it. First up, from Pink Styro, I have, what's your least favorite movie? Would absolutely love to see you go through other series like Halloween or Friday the 13th like you did for Saw. Well, thank you. Halloween or Friday the 13th. I've seen the first Halloween. I love Jamie Lee Curtis. Let me just say that. I mean, I guess I don't like know her really. I just like the meme image of her that says, okay. That's like very iconic to me. But I think it's like, you know, it was the first of its kind. So it's like impressive for what it is. But like if you've seen other slashers, like you've kind of seen Halloween is kind of my take. I haven't seen Friday the 13th, although filming this yesterday was Friday the 13th. So that's exciting. But I mean, I don't know, maybe. Saw was a funny thing. I'm not usually into like horror franchises. Like my favorite horror movies are like Hereditary and I don't know, I just love Hereditary. It's so scary. I do love Cabin in the Woods, but that's more of kind of a meta commentary thing, not to spoil it. But Saw was funny because my friends really love it, and so they kind of got me to watch it, and there were so many of them, I was like, okay, I just gotta talk about this. What I make is really just kind of, like, what I talk about on my channel is based completely on what I'm finding interesting at the moment, which maybe I should get better about. Oh, here's the activator spray. Maybe I should get better about just, like, saying, I'm gonna do this series, watch it, make it, but it's just the amount of time it takes to make a video, just, like, I gotta really be into it. So, who knows? Maybe I'll try them out, and if inspiration strikes, it strikes. As for the question, what is my least favorite movie? That requires some thought. I have movies that, like, I don't want to watch again, if that makes sense. I've name-dropped The Wall on here a couple of times. The thing is that I don't dislike it. Like, I like it a lot. Like, I really respect it. I think it's a very potent and powerful piece of art. It just fills me with a sense of horror and ancestral, like, archetypal fear. It, like, triggers my fight or flight response. Like, there's something about, like, fairy tales that are, like, viscerally horrifying because they're, like, these symbolic expressions of, like, deep, like, Jungian archetypal fear, you know? And that's very much the way that The Wall functions. It, like, presents these symbols that, you know, in some places are very specific, but also representative of other things. It's a highly interpretive movie, and it just scares me deeply. I feel like I'm not doing a good job explaining this. I'm, like, thinking about slime, and then I can't think about anything else. If you've seen The Wall, you know what I mean. It's just very intense, and I watched it, and just absolutely freaked myself out. But that's not really a least favorite. I guess the other night my boyfriend and I watched Years of Heaven, which was pretty good, and then the streaming service we were watching it on, like, auto-played to this, like, Kevin Hart and Dwayne The Rock Johnson, like, buddy CIA movie. That was a real stinker, but it was, like, so bad that we were kind of captivated by it, and we watched, like, a good half of it before we turned it off. So what the hell, that's my least favorite movie. I think it was called like, Central Intelligence, something like that. I guess I'll say that. That's my least favorite movie. Our next question comes from DinkumThinkum7763, love the username, who asks, what are your thoughts on the latest 21 Pilots album?
I'm glad you brought it up because I've been dying to talk about it for a fucking hot minute.
I have, like, the bare bones of a video about it, like, in the works, so I do want to make a full video about it. Let me just say that I love it. I am from Ohio, as we're aware, and they have been on my radar since about 8th grade, and so they really just have a piece of my brain and spirit that will always have a special place for them. When the single Overcompensate came out and they, like, explained all of the lore, I was like, oh, I am back in this. And I had a huge, like, era last winter with Blurry Face again, where I was just like, honestly, I think this might be the best album ever. And did I lie? No. I didn't quite think this through with the shaving cream. The album is, I think people were expecting it to be more lore heavy, like more of a trench. And I don't blame them for that because the opening song says welcome back to Trench. But I think it's more of a Blurry Face in that the lore isn't, like, a concrete lyrical piece of it really until, like, the end of Paladin Straight. It's more of a Blurry Face in that it's more of, like, a character analysis of Clancy, aka Tyler, as a character. And that's what I find really interesting. I like the lore, I like the Trench lore, but I like it as a metaphor for mental health and, like, going through cycles with your own mind. As someone with OCD, that's something I can really relate to, and I think it's really interesting, and it does kind of bother me when people get so caught up on the lore, like, trying to make everything about the lore, like even back before, like, Blurry Face or even Vessel, like, when people take songs from, like, 21 Pilots' self-titled album and they're like, he knew about Clancy and Dima all along. I don't think that's true. I think Clancy and Dima have always existed in the sense that they've always been a part of Tyler, but I don't think that the lore is, like, this crazy masterminded thing. I think it's a metaphor, and I think Clancy leans into that more than Trench or Scaled and Icy did. I'm a Scaled and Icy defender. People hate that album, and I will never understand why. Like, sorry it's happy, sorry you hate Love and Smiles. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I love Midwest Indigo. That was, like, my song of the summer. Snapback. makes me feel emotions that do not exist. So, pro. I am pro the new 21 Pilots album. Sam Warner 2966 says, would you clarify yourself as a Dune girly, Lord of the Rings babe, or Star Wars basic? Personally, I am a Dune girly. Absolutely. I mean, I am emphatically a Dune girly. My map of Arrakis is in the background here. This is sort of channel lore at this point, that in my very first video ever, I promised to make a God Emperor of Dune video, which was foolish of me. So here's what happened. When I made the Viva Las Vengeance video, I had been working on the God Emperor of Dune video for a while. Just the script. I hadn't filmed anything yet. And I had written, like, the summary of the novels up until God Emperor, and then I was going chapter by chapter the way I went, like, episode by episode in Always Sunny Part 2. And I'd gotten up to, like, chapter 34 or something of just summarizing God Emperor, and I felt so burnt out. And then the Viva Las Vengeance thing happened, and that was just, like, I felt very passionate about that in the moment, and I knew it would be a shorter video to make, so I made that. And of course I mentioned the God Emperor thing because I was planning to have that be the first video on my channel. And then people were like, oh, we want God Emperor, where's God Emperor? But then it was like, okay, Viva Las Vengeance, like, blew up so much, like, now I'm really inspired to make other things, and God Emperor isn't anywhere near done, so let me just make things that are interesting to me now. And it just kind of got put on the back burner for a long time, and now I've improved so much from making video essays. Like, my style is different. Like, if you go back and watch the Viva Las Vengeance video, I still love it. I still stand by it and what it created, because it was the first step to the channel I have today. But it is different. Like, it's much more of like a series of kind of dunks on the album, and while I do still agree with that sentimentally, like, what I do now is a bit different. Like, even with Saw, like, I took more of a little bit of an analytical lens. Like, at the very beginning, it's more of a video essay where I talk about, like, 9/11's impact on horror and how that spawned Saw. As it goes on, it gets more silly and, like, House of Anubis, like, I basically have been towing the line my whole channel between, like, shout out YouTubers that I love, like Mike's Mike does these, like, summaries of, like, movies and tells them in his own, like, vernacular kind of, and it's so funny and I love watching those, versus, like, a CJ the X or ContraPoints or Folding Ideas, where it's like they'll mention movies and, like, they'll analyze them very deeply with, like, another lens, or use them as examples to, like, make some other claim about society. They're much more like essays versus like summaries. And so, like, House of Anubis is sort of me doing the Mike's Mike thing, where I'm, like, doing a funny summary of a show. The beginning of Saw is more of the sort of CJ the X thing, where I'm talking about, like, the society around what made Saw, and, like, doing more of an analysis, you know? And then since the movies get stupider, there's less for me to analyze, so I lean into more of just a funny, comedic, personality-driven summary thing, like Mike's Mike does. Not to devalue that, I'm obsessed with him. I love every video he makes. But I'm always towing the line between which of those I want to do more, because they're both really fun and interesting, and I like making them both. But my God Emperor script that I had written at that point was very Mike's Mike, and my intention with it is to be full ContraPoints. Like, I want to make, like, an art piece about God Emperor of Dune. I want it to be serious, and not that it's not funny at all, but I really want to take my time and make, like, a big Joel ContraPoints, like, thing about it, like a deep analysis. And so that's left me in sort of this purgatory with what I have written that I think I could use, and this sort of nebulous, like, there's so much pressure on it now. Like, now people are expecting it. I've decided I want it to be, like, a really good video, and it just makes it hard to work on, because it's like, oh, it's gotta be good, and I don't know. There's just, like, pressure on it now. I do intend to make the God Emperor of Dune video. I just don't know when it will happen. I hope to get some work in on it this year. As with every year is my intention. We'll see. It's become sort of my muse, so I don't know. This is a long-winded answer to say I love Dune. I've only ever seen Rogue One from Star Wars. I went with some friends in middle school because they wanted to see it. I have been reading Fellowship of the Ring for like a year now, and I just cannot get to the end of it. It's a lot of walking. It's a lot of walking. I enjoy it, but it's a lot of walking. My hands are too slimy, so I'm gonna get some scissors to cut this open. I'm back, and we have another question from Quasnar, who says, do you have any love for any other sitcoms you might make a video on, or does Always Sunny have a monopoly on your heart? Oh man, I love lots of shows. You know, I say in the video that Always Sunny is my favorite show, and it is one of my favorites, but in terms of shows I like really identify with, honestly 30 Rock takes the cake. I've been watching that show since I was in like 5th grade, which is probably too young, and truthfully, I don't know where my authentic personal self ends and where me copying Liz Lemon begins. I feel a lot of kinship with her. I'm putting the clay in the slime. My senior quote was actually "Lemon Out," which is from the high school reunion episode of 30 Rock.
Once and for all, I want to say I'm sorry. You know what? Suck it, you whittling IHOP monkeys.
I'm at the jet's waiting.
That's right, a jet to New York City. Lemon out.
I love that show. Arrested Development is great. I love The Office. I feel like you can't love The Office anymore because it's all millennial or whatever, but like, it's beloved for a reason. Like, it is really so well written and fun when it's well written and fun. Ooh, the clay is really helping it congeal here. Is this gross? I guess this is also why I felt weird about making slime videos online. It's like, it's a little gross, no? I have fun with it and I like playing with it, but when you don't get to touch it, is it gross to just watch? I like watching people make slime, so I don't think so. But is this too much? Is this too weird? Oh, I really like the clay texture in there. This is good. If I make more slime, are you guys gonna be bored? Okay, here's the deal. It's a different day. I made these two the other day. I don't know if I'll include the making of this one because I just rambled off questions of my own. And I was gonna have it just be those, but then I got a really good comment on Patreon with like 5 questions, and I really like all of them. And I promised to prioritize Patreon since they pay me money and I feel bad. So I'm back. It's like 2 days later and I'm gonna make a third slime. I've got my clear glue this time for a clear slime and some more Tide, although I'm going to challenge myself to use less of this because as the clay slime has sat for a couple days, you can see some of the detergent is leaking down to the bottom. When you take it out and play with it, it's fine, but each day it's secreted a little more detergent. Though I suspect it may be a clay issue because this other one has not done that, but nonetheless, I don't like the sliminess of this slime. Also, I feel like I didn't do enough good like ASMR up in the mic with these slimes when I made them, and I feel like that's kind of the funny like joke like point of this, so I'm gonna do more of that in this one. So patron Audrey Lee, first of all, she said congrats on 10K. Thank you very much. Then she said favorite hobbies outside of YouTube / content creation. I really like drawing, actually. I don't really post my visual art on here that much other than like just like crafts and stuff that I make for videos. But I was in 2 years of AP art in high school. When I was in middle school, I really thought I was gonna go to school for animation. It ended up like kind of not being the favorite thing. I like it. If you scroll back far enough on my channel, I made a short film actually. I don't know if my music counts as content creation. I like singing and writing songs. I like playing video games. I'm not like a real gamer or anything, but like the classics. Like I'm a big Undertale fan. I try to replay that around Christmas every year. Night in the Woods. I am Mae Borowski. She is me. I look like this. May is my TikTok profile picture, and every now and then I get a comment being like, why is that your profile picture? Are you gonna look at that and tell me that's not me? I look exactly like this. Slime progress. It's beginning to congeal, but not significantly. Number 2 from Audrey Lee is which artists have significantly impacted your music / creative work? That is such a good question. That's the kind of question I like answer out loud in the shower when I'm imagining that I'm on Jimmy Fallon or something. Not in like a delusions of grandeur way, but just in a, I don't know, a cool, fun way. So, I mean, it depends how far we go back. So as a child, I really believed I was going to be Hannah Montana. The first song I can really remember hearing and liking, I was at a bowling alley with family and Centerfold by Jay Giles Band came on, and that I guess that was like my first time like experiencing a hook in real time, and I was like, what is that melody? I could go on and on about just like my journey with music, but let me reel myself in. My first EP, If Anyone, I made in high school, so obviously it was influenced a lot by artists that I listened to in middle school and high school, because it was written like kind of beginning of high school. That one's very Avril Lavigne. I had a big Avril Lavigne phase. Paramore, Panic at the Disco, MCR. I had already been listening to 21 Pilots at that point, but I don't know that they were the biggest inspiration on that particular, like on those 3 songs. Low is very Wolf Alice to me. Wolf Alice Visions of a Life was like a big album for that period of time in my life. Very Panic at the Disco, specifically like Vices and Virtues, I always think is similar to Low. Trench by 21 Pilots is very Low. Moonflower is the most recent, so I know most concretely. That album I got... So while I was making Low, I got super into Grimes, and I love Grimes, and I'm sorry. I got into Taylor Swift while I was making Moonflower. That was a huge inspiration for writing. Bjork, J. Paul, his album that got leaked was huge for Moonflower. It like showed me that I could leave things raw and have that be special. I know that wasn't intended on his end, but Sparks were a huge influence on Moonflower. Sparks and Talking Heads, new wave. Oh, Azalea Banks too, kind of. You wouldn't really know it from the sound of the album, but like just the production thing. Like I was listening to a lot of playlists of like songs to test headphones to. Cocteau Twins, I love Cocteau Twins. Heaven or Las Vegas is one of my favorite albums ever. You guys, I don't know, everything I've ever listened to. Oh, Magdalena Bay! I'm sorry, last one, I swear, Magdalena Bay actually was one of the biggest influences on Moonflower. I cannot not mention them. I can't believe I haven't mentioned them yet. Question number 3. Audrey Lee asks, which Always Sunny character I relate to the most? First of all, disclaimer, none of them. Obviously, these characters are intended to be jerks, so I don't aspire to behave the way that they behave. With that said, Charlie. Obviously, Charlie. I think I'm like a Charlie Sun, D, Moon, Artemis Rising. Finally, Audrey asks about pets, if I have any, if I want any. We have been thinking of getting a cat. I hope to get a cat sometime soon. Whoa, and then I did get a cat and a haircut. This is Juniper. Oh, do you have anything to tell the people? Yeah? Okay, that's Juniper. Okay, with that, I'd love to start the ASMR segment. Hey guys, welcome to my ASMR channel, where I whisper and make pleasing noises. This slime kind of flopped. It's okay, it's just way too sticky. Does that sound good? Let's go in with the purple slime. I'm gonna do the swirl thing that they used to do on Instagram in 2016. Come on now. That's incredible. I'm all about the bubbles. Is this bad for my digital footprint, I wonder? I mean, ASMR is like a therapy thing, right? I know this looks really weird. Let's do another one of those. That was fun. Having a calm and tranquil time watching my slime video. I guess it is kind of weird. I guess I get why on some level I felt weird about it as a younger person. Like, I don't know how I would explain this to a pilgrim, you know what I mean? That's good. I like the pops. That's what they would do. That's what they would do on Instagram back in the day. This was the bag. This was what they would do. That's like how you're like supposed to play with slime if you're trying to like show it off as like a content creator. I don't know why. I don't make the rules for these things. I just enforce them. Okay, we're gonna go in with slime number 3. Is this too much? Please tell me if this is too much. I'm having a lot of fun. Here is the top of the clay slime. As slime settles, it behaves in certain ways. see, it's like leaking detergent everywhere. Step 1, pull the kombucha mother out of the drink. This one's more of a butter slime, so it's not as stretchy with the clay in it, but it has a different texture. It's kind of hard to describe. Can you see at all that it's like different? It's like thicker. In another life, if I had really pursued the slime thing, if my friend had never noticed my slime Instagram account open on my phone, this might be the channel you were subscribed to. That's also what they do. ASMR people are always like, what if I just put in like a really loud like saw trap or something right now? I'm not going to, but what if? Okay, I'm gonna start talking again in a second, so if you have to turn your volume back down, do it now so it doesn't scare you. 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you so much for watching this weird, strange video. I've had a great time. I hope it was enjoyable to watch too. We'll see what I can do in the editing bay. Thank you so much for 10,000 subscribers. I mean it. Let's do here. Comment to claim your slime. You're not gonna get it. I'm gonna keep it, but just like for sentimental reasons. Claim your slime now, and then in videos going forward, instead of being like, I've been here since 10K, you can be like Purple Slime fam, where you at in 2026, you know what I'm saying? So lock in now if you're mint butter slime fam or lavender sparkle fam or translucent teal squad. This one really flopped. I have to apologize. Thank you so much, everyone who submitted questions. Thank you to everyone watching who didn't. On a serious note, it's really just humbling and exciting to see the response that I've gotten, and I am ready and eager to keep creating, and it really means the world to me to have so much of you along for the ride. And I think that's gonna do it. I think I'm gonna clean up and then watch some TV and continue playing with this slime. So thank you. Bye.